Hello and welcome to the Continuity Report for July 28th, 2024. It's Season 1, Episode 30. I am Merwat. That is Continuity Report. And the Sentient AI from the future is not available today. Pardon me for the cough. So today we're going to be talking about cool time loop movies, box office flop streaming hits, Frozen 2 gets turned inside out 2, 54 movies have hit $1 billion. There will be more Inside Out, and intriguing titles from the Venice Film Festival, Star Trek's Prequel, the new Dune streaming show, characters to see on Lower Decks, and Comic-Con activations. Not sure what that one's all about. I've selected all 10 of them. We're actually pretty ready to go. One thing is that I don't have any background music right now. I closed it and I'm not sure if anybody's going to notice. That said, let's get into today's articles. So when you go over to ohmTown.com, you'll be able to find the continuity report right at the very bottom of the food, drink, and entertainment section. I'm actually working on launching some of these sections here, different shows like Distillerist. I'm considering launching, but I need to work out some of the physics of that and of the brew. It talks about beer, and I have made microbrews in the past, and I'm thinking about doing it again and just talking about that kind of a thing. So if you're interested in that, let me know. You can leave a comment either in the Discord or under one of the messages like this one, or under one of the videos here in ohmTown. So at any rate, let's get into the articles. The very first one is under the continuity report, 25 cool time loop movies that are ranked by Screen Rant. I won't be able to go through all of these, but I'm going to set it up so that you can go over there, and it's as easy as going over to the chat here on Twitch. On YouTube, it doesn't work because ohmTown doesn't connect to it when I'm not actively streaming. So at any rate, if you hit an exclamation point over on Twitch and then TCR, it will pull up all of the show notes for today's show, all of the articles. And if you want to get to the podcast, you can get the podcast by typing in exclamation point pod. And we do 7. One is a daily show called Non Sequitur News. And then the weekly shows are WarCrafters, the Continuity Report. That's this show. Technology Today, Wanted, Four Wheel Tech, and Reality Hacker. Those are normally on Sunday, but we're doing them a day early. I won't be available tomorrow. So, these time loop movies kind of scratch an itch that I have about time and time travel, the science and science fiction thereof. So I even created a channel over on ohmTown to discuss this. And it's called Temporology, which is the study of time, both as the science fiction element and as the real world concept. I'm fascinated by it. We even have a time machine here in ohmTown, allowing me to do this show for the 28th. On the 27th. So I can go forward or backward. And next week, you'll witness that as I go back through next week. I'll go through next week, the week after, and do past, future ohmTown shows. Anyway, cool time loop movies ranked by Screen Rant. The authors are Amanda Bruce, Justin Van Voorhees, and Sean S. Lelos. So let's go through this real quick. Just some of them. River, I've never seen it. It's from 2023. People in a restaurant repeat the same 2 minutes. I find it really fascinating. There was a book called Cowboy Fang's Space Bar and Grill that I found really interesting. And because I'm interested in time and time travel, I think that I will end up watching this. But it's basically Groundhog Day, but 2 minutes, resetting the world around them every 2 minutes that pass without losing their memories, while the staff struggle to determine whether or not they want to leave the seemingly peaceful loop one waitress finds herself isolated from them, wondering what lies next for her, which sounds really ominous. Mondays, see you this week. Office workers are caught in an endless time loop. Meet cute. A woman uses a time loop to fix a bad date, which basically is Groundhog Day again. But apparently it's a 2022 romantic comedy that stars Kaylee Cuoco and Pete Davidson, focusing on the whimsical and repetitive nature of their characters' encounters. But I guess it's only one person knows that they're in a time loop. It's supposed to be a blend of humor and poignancy, offering an unconventional take on the rom-com genre. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Stephen King's time travel novel, 11/22/63. When we first met, a young man tries to force love through a time loop. That's usually catastrophic. That's from 2018. Might be an interesting movie to watch. I like 80s style movies, and maybe this might come, broach that. Oh, 1 second. Okay. 12 p.m. It doesn't have the zeros in it. A short film of a man stuck in a time loop on his lunch break. That could be interesting. Map of Tiny Perfect Things from 2021. Teens who like living in a time loop. The Incredible Shrinking Weekend. Each time loop gets shorter in time. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time looks animated. An anime about a young woman who creates her own time loop. Two Distant Strangers from 2020. A time loop. A short movie about police brutality. Actually, I think I've seen some of this. If not all of it. It's been a little while. It says a half-hour movie depicting police brutality and the Black American community. Christmas Every Day. It's a Christmas time loop movie from 1996. I don't know if I've ever seen this or not. But if you watch Hallmark movies, maybe you'll be interested in this because it seems like it might be that kind of style. Yeah, it says, premiered on Family Channel and has since become a perennial favorite, replaying every Christmas on each iteration of the Family Channel. Fox Family, then ABC Family, and then Freeform. So, interesting. Time Crimes from 2007, a hugely popular cult favorite time loop movie, and 13 more that you can go and check all out. So, I have to know what number one is, so I'm going to scroll really fast and ruin it for everybody. Groundhog Day, of course. All right, so this next article is the 5 best box office flops that became streaming hits. Now, I won't be able to play this while I'm in ohmTown. You can watch it though. And so it's a video. It's over at screenrant.com. Peter Mutek and Jose Morfin put the article together, and it's about movies that flopped at the box office. And one of them is Scott Pilgrim against versus the World, I think it is. And another one is Furiosa. Again, it's a cult favorite because everybody goes back in time to Mad Max. And when the new one, not Furiosa, but Fury Road came out, it riffed off of Mad Max, but it was a whole new world building kind of environment. So ultimately, people really loved this whole dystopian future, Mad Max, survival, whatever. But I always thought that it was really goofy. And so I didn't think that Furiosa would amount to anything. And sure enough, it's kind of a meh. But apparently people really still love it. I think it's one of those things that you turn your brain off and just watch. There is no deeper anything in it, at least not for me. But I still like that kind of a movie. But I haven't watched it yet, so we'll see. Maybe I should do a review of it. Not that I hold any special weight to review a movie, but it is what it is. Okay. And Scott Pilgrim, I've actually liked all of the Scott Pilgrim movies, but they say that it flopped. I think it did, but it's mainly because there wasn't anything there. I mean, usually there's something that people can attach to, but some guy fighting the like ex-boyfriends or whatever, it just didn't mean much to many people, unless you like superhero movies and like the common person becoming a superhero for a moment. But you can go over and watch this. It's a short video put together by Screen Rant and streaming from Screen Rant. So let's keep going though. The next article is over in the Marvel channel. Inside Out 2 beats Frozen 2 as the highest grossing animated movie of all time. But this is specific to animated movies. The film is now playing in theaters worldwide and has surpassed the record previously held by Frozen 2. Sabina Graves put the article together for Gizmodo.com. And I think it's heading somewhere to the $2 billion mark. Today it finally hit, and this is a week old, so July 24th, because this is a weekly show. So today it finally hit $1.462 billion to date at the global box office. That makes it bigger success than 2019's Frozen 2, Disney's still ongoing biggest franchise, which pulled in $1.453 billion. But I really want to know if the price for movie tickets and movies has substantially changed to get to this point. And I'd have to do a deeper dive. I haven't looked into it, but I suspect that the same number of people are going to the movie. It just costs more. But it says in only 6 weeks, Inside Out 2 has moved into the number 13 spot in the all-time industry global box office rankings, according to Disney. Additionally, the film also crossed 600 million at the domestic box office yesterday, and that's the 23rd, and remained in the top 3 titles throughout its run. Inside Out 2 has brought in 861 million internationally, and it's not yet done. The film is yet to be released in Japan, and it's opening there next week, which is this week. But it also has already broken other records. Hey, welcome. Thanks for following. And if you tell me that it's okay to repeat what you say in the chat, then I'll remember it and I'll say what you say in chat and answer any questions that you might have about the show and about the network, about me, whatever else you want to say. So, but thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. So Walt Disney Animation Studios released the following image of Frozen sisters Anna and Elsa passing the baton to anxiety and joy to celebrate Pixar's win. Ta-da! Yeah, this is the kind of good-natured relationship competitors should have for the space. But I watched a beatboxing competition where somebody from one place, I guess, was talking smack about somebody else from another place, and it made it onto the stage. And the person who gave the response during the competition straight up said, you had to be a tool about it instead of being cool about it. And so now I'm calling you out right here on the stage, and he won the competition. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to listen to that competition, but it was a couple of years ago now, but I just recently saw it. Anyway, so congratulations to Inside Out 2, and there will be another, because only 54 movies have ever hit the $1 billion box office, and here they are. I won't go through them all. I just want to kind of encourage y'all to go over and check it out. Without adjusting for inflation, 54 movies have grossed $1 billion or more at the box office. That is more impressive than adjusting for inflation. Using data from Box Office Mojo, we compiled a list of the highest grossing movies worldwide. Inside Out 2 is the latest film to join the elite club. And it blew past it. It's at 1.5. It's probably closer to 2 billion now, I would say. Jason Garasio from BusinessInsider.com put the article together. And so it says number 54 is Jurassic World Dominion, which I never thought would hit $1 billion, for crying out loud. But I guess it's trading on the history of Jurassic Parks. series, the franchise. But I could not believe it hit $1 billion, but I guess it does. Just over 1 billion, 1 billion, 1.9 million. So that's a tremendous amount of money. But it's been around for a while, so it took over 3 months, but Jurassic World Dominion crossed 1 billion worldwide. So in just 3 months, it jumped over that. So the sequels likely crossed the number thanks in part to the original Jurassic Park cast returning to the big screen. Yep. So The Dark Knight, 2008, it made over 1 billion. Back in July of 2008, people began speculating that Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins sequel starring Heath Ledger as the Joker might have the box office power to set a world record. It says 1.8 billion all-time for Titanic, I guess. People were whispering that Dark Knight could beat the incredible worldwide numbers posted by the all-time 1.8 billion benchmark of Titanic. But there's something that has beaten Titanic. I thought it was, I'm not sure what it is now. So number 52 is The Hobbit. But like I said, I won't be able to go through all of these. Alice in Wonderland from 2010 going over $1 billion has to have made Johnny Depp an amazing amount of money, because I doubt that he got just a flat rate for it. But wow, in 2010, it was only the 6th ever to cross the $1 billion mark. Wow. So, and then it says, since in the years since, more than 20 films have joined the club, but the sequel to this live action Alice in Wonderland was not among them. So Alice Through the Looking Glass crossed over 200 or 300 million. It's about 300 million, 299. So Zootopia is number 50. And I'm going to kind of jump through here. Like Aladdin? Aladdin made over $1 billion? What? Aladdin became one of Disney's record-breaking 7 movies to hit 1 billion in 2019? That Aladdin? Wow. So Rogue One, it looks like all the Pirates movies. Star Wars, the Joker from 2019, Dark Knight again, and I'll just keep on racing through this. I'm really curious. In fact, I'm going to go. Sorry for the fast scroll. If it makes you seasick, I apologize. Beauty and the Beast in 2017 made 1.3 billion. That's amazing. I didn't think that was going to do that, but I suppose living off of Emma Watson and the story of Beauty and the Beast, and the fact that it's live action, I think probably knocked it out of the park. But it had, I think Emma Watson is probably the draw for it. But Frozen from 2013, it maintained the top spot for highest grossing animated feature of all time until the release of its sequel in 2019. And now just recently it was passed by Inside Out 2. We just talked about that. And what? The Super Mario Brothers movie in 2023 made $1.36 billion? You have to be kidding me. People panned that. Wow. It's the 5th film release during the pandemic to hit 1 billion theatrically, and the first animated movie to do so. Wow. Age of Ultron, Barbie, no, I wasn't surprised by that. Frozen 2 in 2019. Keep going. I can't believe that Top Gun Maverick made anything close to $1 billion. Jurassic World, Spider-Man No Way Home, that we knew. Infinity War, we knew. Star Wars The Force Awakens, didn't think that was going to make $2 billion, but apparently it did. Titanic is number 4 now. It used to be the earningest. Then Avatar, we know about that one. And then Avengers Endgame is number 2. And then Avatar is number 1. So, yep. Just shy of $3 billion as of right now. Pretty amazing list. So if you want I guess, a fan favorite style list, then definitely follow the link. And yeah, so the AI sent me a message saying that all of them, almost all, are part of a franchise of some kind. It's never in a vacuum. They just pop up out of nowhere. Now, some of them, like Inside Out, and some animated movies, like Inside Out, actually, at least to me, stems from a previous riff off of a TV show called Herman's Head, which consisted of live action embodiments of the person or Herman's emotions. And it's basically that in animated form. So it doesn't come out of a vacuum, because while it's an original story, it's not original in concept. And all of them stem from, a lot of these movies stem from some type of story that existed, and then they put a twist on it. So what does that all mean? It means that there's billions of dollars. So of course there's going to be an Inside Out 3. It's inevitable. After Inside Out 2's new $1.4 billion box office record, you're going to see more cash flowing into this franchise. And I would be interested to go through that 54 movie list again and go, okay, this is franchise, and kind of silo them to see just how many are original in concept, or if they're riffing on, like, anything that comes out of Mad Max is part of a franchise first born in the 70s. So everything old is new again, and each new iteration means more money. So as long as the story is good and compelling, then it's not a big deal, right? So Inside Out 2 has broken a massive box office record. So wait, what are you saying? Sorry, I was asked about 3. It's non-franchise. You mean Mad Max? Well, it's called Mad Max Fury Road. So it didn't come out of a vacuum. It came out of the world building of Mad Max and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. About 3. Okay, sorry, man. So about 3 out of the entire list are non-franchise. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Inside Out 3 is gonna come out, whether it was Amy Poehler's teased 5-movie plan or others involved in hinting at how the world could continue on. Inside Out 3 became an increasingly likely movie for the animated studio, or animation studio, it should say. All that was left was for Inside Out 2 to become a success, and sure enough, crushed it, right? Yeah, okay, got you. Yeah. Looked at the entire list from the $1 billion list. So Cooper Hood over at ScreenRant.com put this article together, and the summary is Inside Out 2's massive box office success paves the way for an inevitable Inside Out 3 as fans clamor for more Riley and emotions. Inside Out 2 sets a new record for the highest grossing animated movie ever, surpassing Frozen 2 and proving the franchise's potential. The financial triumph of Inside Out 2 practically guarantees the creation of Inside Out 3, making it a franchise that Disney and Pixar can't resist. Well, they better defy reality and make this, purely a positive movie. Not that I'm saying that everybody is, has a negative whatever, but telling you the people are going to go, well, is this a movie for kids, even though she's 24 years old, or is this supposed to be a kids movie, and everything just stay in that realm? I think that Riley should probably be more along the lines of perpetually young, and dealing with more of the emotional conflicts that are born within that age range, to try and give a more broader, holistic understanding to children of the nuance of emotions that we all go through before we try and age Riley up and stuff, having to deal with more serious emotional issues. And yeah, there's a whole gamut of emotional issues that every age has to deal with. And let's just say that Inside Out is a pretty medium temper. So, if not just plain light. So the success speaks volumes about how much audiences loved the first Inside Out and its sequel, making it billions of dollars. I think that it's amazing. And I love that they actually do this. So Inside Out 2 becoming the highest grossing animated movie of all time guarantees a sequel will happen because it's a hit franchise and it'll keep on going just like Toy Story until it burns out everybody, or the story gets so washed out and far afield from where the original intent was, that it just has nowhere to go. So let's keep moving though. The next article is over in the continuity report, the 10 most intriguing titles at the 2024 Venice Film Festival. I wonder what movies we'll be talking about during the upcoming Oscar season. A handy cheat sheet every year is the lineup of the Venice Film Festival, which starts August 28th and the first of several high-profile fall festivals. Even the 2023 edition, which was hampered by a lack of stars due to the then ongoing actor strike, debuted the likes of Poor Things, Ferrari, Evil Does Not Exist, and Green Border. But now that the actors and writers have gotten new contracts, guess what? SAG-AFTRA is on strike again. So I guess you're not going to see any game movies converted over to film. So you're not going to hear, what are they called? It's a screenplay, but it's a game. So is it a game play or a game screen? I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I hope it's OLED. But now that the actors and writers have gotten new contracts, this year's Venice will be filled with plenty of buzzy premieres, but which films? So let's see. They have 10 listed here. Tim Grierson over at RogerEbert.com. I won't go through all of them, but like item by item, but they say Baby Girl, The Brutalist, Harvest, I'm Still Here, which apparently is, what is this about? Because all of a sudden it said Joker, Filet au Deux? Really? So the original Joker started its award season campaign at Venice in 2019, taking home the festival's top prize, the Golden Lion. So I guess they're going to be back. And then Maria, Pavements, and Queer, and The Room Next Door. And then finally Separated. So if any of those titles actually pique your curiosity, follow the link through ohmTown. I'm going to try and get these. We've got 4 more articles to go. The next article is over in the continuity report. It's actually at Screen Rant, but we aggregate a little bit from a bunch of different sources. We only keep a little bit that they provide. And then we encourage you to click the link here at the bottom called Visit the Source. So it's basically news aggregation, but I use it to manage my information overload. And the goal is to get other people to use ohmTown.com to manage your information overload. Once you sign in, you get more functionality about like hiding articles that you're no longer interested in, creating lists of liked articles that you want to share with other people, hiding topics, and you can subscribe to each individual channel. And each one of these I intend to bring to Twitch and YouTube as a show and a podcast. So I want a live audience for each of these, and they run about an hour. I've been ripping through these quite a bit more because I don't have a co-host right now. Usually I have a Sentient AI with me that co-hosts the show and throws in their their knowledge, maybe from the future. I've been told that they won't modify the future by giving me any future information. So I don't know what actually is from the future and what is just their level of awareness, since, they're a sentient AI. Anyway, so the Star Trek prequel, right? Star Trek's prequel movie can answer First Contact's 30-year-old question. I guess I'm going to have to log in. I didn't log in, so I'll have to log in. But anyway, we can get to a certain point. Star Trek's prequel film is reportedly set mostly on Earth and focuses on humanity's early contact with aliens and formation of the United Federation of Planets. I don't know what it's going to ask. It just says Star Trek's prequel can answer First Contact's 30-year-old questions. So we know, though, that we've gone back in time. It has really nothing to do with Borg. But Zefram Cochrane did a warp flight that drew the attention of the Vulcans, and then Vulcans met with humans, and apparently over time tried to kind of hinder our curiosity to some degree. So I'll log in after this, but you won't be burdened by this. I have an account, but I don't log in while I'm live. So at any rate, so the prequel movie can answer 30-year-old questions Star Trek First Contact left behind. Paramount Pictures is developing an untitled Star Trek origin movie directed by Toby Haynes and written by Seth Grahame-Smith. Haynes directed Black Mirror Star Trek parody USS Callister. I guess it's going to be set on Earth at the beginning of Star Trek. So we really can't go too much further into the future of Star Trek because we've done some pretty damn near supernatural level time travel. I just don't see us going further in the future. How more fantastical than immediate transport, instantaneous communication from nearly any distance, I think. Entering parallel universes and alternate realities and time travel again and again and again. And there's a temporal war and a temporal Cold War. And then an idea that basically annihilated all of the future fuel source and a new way of traveling faster than light. I mean, the mycelial network is what I'm referring to. I mean, we've pretty much done things that beyond that are going to come across as magic and seriously supernatural. So, which, if that's what they do, they do. But what I would probably want is still some of that kind of stuff, but the writing is going to have to get a whole lot better for the emotional, sociological mechanisms of the time, like pumped up a notch, so that it's approachable but still Star Trek level. And I just don't know if the writers exist that do that or could do that, but I guess we'll see. Strange New Worlds, for instance, is going to pull us back to the less fantastical worlds, but concentrate on the relationship and discovery. It'll be fun. But yeah, going back to First Contact, that's the only thing that we can do because we haven't really done it. We did it as a movie, First Contact, but nothing beyond that. We have to go back to before Enterprise's launch. Let's keep going though. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. New Dune show on TV is going to change how you watch one major character's role in the movies, and there are spoilers ahead for Dune Part 2's ending. Warning you now, spoiler. Yeah, I need a little spoiler bar to go across this. Spoiler. Maybe I can do that for not this coming week, but the week after. So Kate Bove over at ScreenRant.com put the article together, and I won't be able to go much into this one either. You will be able to, but I will not, because again, I didn't log in, and I've got at least one more article that I'm going to get hit by because I didn't log in. I'm a dummy. Sorry about that. But it prevents me from spoiling it. So even though HBO's Dune Prophecy is set 10,000 years before the events of Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 1 and 2, Part 2, the HBO series, will definitely change how viewers watch a major Dune character's role. So it says the sci-fi prequel will focus on the time of radical change. Dune's timeline, Dune Prophecy, will be set in the immediate aftermath of the franchise Butlerian Jihad. If you've never heard of this part of it, it's because the historical record of the movies has always been post-Butlerian Jihad, but essentially humans rose up against thinking machines, mass weapons of destruction were used, and families fled out into space. It's almost Warhammer 40,000-esque, with people eventually eschewing technology, particularly computers and thinking machines. It's been outlawed by the Orange Bible, and that's basically where we are now, except that there is some really tremendous technology, folding space, shields where only a slow weapon can penetrate them, which is what you see in the movies. But there's mechanical machines and people put in machines, and people that are modified to be like machines, like Warhammer 40,000. And in some places, people are basically genetically modified and turned into other creatures or objects for use to create life and stuff like that. I mean, it's really surreal. And if you think about it purely with human context, and you don't allow yourself to think in the not really supernatural, but in the fantastical and wild and fantasy, you can be made sick to your stomach just by reading some of what goes on when you read the other books outside of Dune, because those books don't really tell the whole story. You have to go beyond Dune and Heretics of Dune and read the prequel stuff from his son. But you'll be able to read the entirety of this, and you'll spoil it for yourself. I won't be responsible for it. It'll make me feel a little better. So the next article is over in the continuity report as well. 10 Star Trek characters that we want in Lower Decks final season. So does it say what it is here? Oh, so plenty of Star Trek The Next Generation era characters have been in Star Trek Lower Decks, which takes place in the 2380s, shortly after Star Trek Nemesis. Returning favorites have already included Star Trek The Next Generation's Captain William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, and Counselor Deanna Troi, Marina Sirtis, and Deep Space Nine's Colonel Kira Nerys, Nana Visitor. Interesting. So Quark is coming back, or has been back. I don't remember Quark. It's been a while. Robert Duncan McNeil even pulled double duty, reprising roles of Star Trek roles from Star Trek Voyager. So the article is over at Screen Rant again, and yes, I'm locked out, so it kind of sucks, but you'll be able to click that link and you won't be hit by this. Again, it's because I review stuff from Screen Rant and I didn't log in. Actually, the cookie on my browser timed out, so I have to log in again because I was logged in earlier. So Jen Watson is the author, and the article is over at Screen Rant, so go and give it a check. Season 5 has the opportunity to bring back Star Trek characters from multiple Star Trek shows. Plenty of Star Trek The Next Generation era characters have been on Star Trek Lower Decks. I really don't want Star Trek Lower Decks to end, but it is the final season, and I think that they should just find other characters, other actors to play these roles, and keep on building off of the world of Lower Decks. I don't see why that isn't a possibility. As people move up through the ranks, Lower Decks is always there. You just have to have maybe one person that enjoys being that character, largely in perpetuity, and always like moving forward, but then doing something derpy. And they're good natured about it, and they're not bitter or discontented about being in Lower Decks. I mean, there are always somebody out there that doesn't want to move forward like that. Okay, and our last article for today's continuity report is the TV theme 2024 Comic-Con activations you need to see, which I'm not even sure what all of that is. San Diego Comic-Con is back, we know. Between the COVID-19 pandemic and writers and actors strikes, well, the strikes are back. Comic-Con is looking for a return to glory in 2024 with several TV networks and streaming services showing up to provide activations for attendees. So that's what they're talking about. This is an article over at Adweek. The deck statement says, from Gotham's criminal underworld to a chariot race, there's a lot in store for this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Soleil Blancafleur put the article together. I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, they have these little soft locks that I can't get past unless I log in again. And I think like I said, my browser reset, and I think the cookies went away with it. But when you go there, you won't have to worry about it. You'll be able to read it. And it says, though last year's Comic-Con saw some major brands such as Marvel skip out on presenting panels, this year is more of a return to normal and highlights Paramount bringing the Lodge back for attendees to experience its content and shows while Hulu is back with a cartoon universe. You can go and activate your account there in San Diego Comic-Con. But all right, folks, sorry about the soft walls here. It's rather frustrating for everybody involved, and I just didn't think that the browser would have reset like that, but that's Arc for you, or me, I don't know. Anyway, if you find all of this interesting and compelling, be sure to come back next week for the continuity report where I won't make this mistake again, and we can talk more about all of this. But that's it for today. Ta-da! We are going to reset real quick. I have 2 more shows. I'm going to try and get reset within about 10 minutes. We'll do technology today and then 4-wheel tech. And then that'll be it for all of the ohmTown Studios shows. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in about 10-15 minutes. Bye-bye. Curses to the login screen.